Henry looking to throw it. Wide open. Touchdown.
Every team has some players that they love for whatever reason. Incredible play, great people off the field, or whatever the fact. These dudes are just fan favorites. Today, we're gonna discuss every NFL team's most beloved player. Now, this list could certainly be a little controversial. So if your favorite player didn't make the list, well, let us know in the comments. Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald. It's hard to picture a more beloved player throughout the Cardinals' history than Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald spent his entire career with the franchise and was iconic in his time. With 121 career touchdown receptions and 11 Pro Bowls to his name, it's only a matter of time until the 2016 Walter Payton Man of the Year is enshrined in Canton. Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan. Matty Ice is the most beloved Falcons player of all time, and there's not really a debate about it. Spending 14 seasons in Atlanta, Ryan had an MVP season, brought the Falcons to the Super Bowl, and nothing else happened after that that's worth mentioning. He was a dominant player on the field and led the team to success over the course of 14 seasons. Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis. One of the most feared defenders in NFL history, Ray Lewis was a monster on the field for the Baltimore Ravens. The two-time Defensive Player of the Year was a monster with 31 interceptions, 19 forced fumbles, and 41.5 career sacks. He also was a part of 2 Ravens Super Bowl teams and was Super Bowl 35 MVP. The name Ray Lewis speaks volumes to the Ravens fans. Buffalo Bills, Bruce Smith. Defensive end Bruce Smith is synonymous with the city of Buffalo. Smith spent 14 seasons with the Bills and was an 8-time All-Pro getting after the opposing quarterback. He was part of the Bills team that made 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances but never won. However, 200 career sacks, 171 with Buffalo, definitely plays pretty well with the Bills Mafia. Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton. Cam Newton was a force unlike any other when he was drafted by the Carolina Panthers. He's still not retired, but has not played since 2021 as he has had 2 different stints with the Panthers. In that decade with the team, he won an MVP, made the Super Bowl, and made electric plays through the air and on the ground. What can we say? The fans love Cam Newton in Carolina. Chicago Bears, Brian Urlacher. Brian Urlacher spent all 13 seasons with the Chicago Bears and dominated as he won a Defensive Player of the Year award in 2005 and was one of the most impressive middle linebackers in the game. 8 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros, and a Hall of Fame jacket make him beloved to the Chicago crowd. Cleveland Browns, Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas represents Cleveland. The only offensive lineman on this list, Thomas has shown to be a star. He's a Hall of Famer for a team that rarely won and showed the tenacity of the city of Cleveland. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler and 6-time All-Pro at the tackle position while also having a gold jacket. Thomas dominated and showed what it was like to be embraced by a city that loves football. Dallas Cowboys, Deion Sanders. This one was tough. But there has to be a spot for Deion Sanders, and, well, the Cowboys are the logical spot. Sanders played 5 seasons with Dallas and was an absolute beast. His boisterous personality and his gift of the gab made him a fan favorite right away. It didn't hurt that they were also able to get him from the rival San Francisco 49ers to shore up their defense. Detroit Lions, Barry Sanders. When you think of the Detroit Lions, Barry Sanders comes to mind right away. He was an absolute force, as he was a Pro Bowler every single season of his 10-year career and won the 1997 NFL MVP. However, he did retire at the age of 30, and we have to see exactly why he did that in his new documentary coming out. Sanders is known as the Lions' greatest talent, and Detroit certainly appreciates him for it. Denver Broncos, Von Miller. One of the best defensive players of an era that won 2 Super Bowls. Miller was a dominant force on the Broncos for 10.5 years before being traded. Being the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year twice and an all-around nice guy, his dominance on the field and incredible work off of it are exactly why he is beloved still to this day. Green Bay Packers, Reggie White. Reggie White was hard to put for either here or the Eagles, but the Packers love him. His 92 jersey is retired by both teams, but he absolutely dominated with the Packers for 6 seasons. He finished with 68.5 sacks, 14 forced fumbles, and an interception with Green Bay. White was a force on the defensive line, and the Minister of Defense is beloved by that Packers faithful. Houston Texans, J.J. Watt. This one was a no-brainer, as well with J.J. Watt being the person that is envisioned when thinking about the Texans. He was a monster on the field and also one of the best off it as well. He was the 2017 Walter Payton Man of the Year after helping the city of Houston by raising $37 million for rebuilding the city after Hurricane Harvey hit. His dominance on the field and incredible generosity off of it is exactly why he is loved to this day. Indianapolis Colts, Peyton Manning. Despite not being enamored with the franchise since leaving, Peyton Manning is still associated with the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, he spent 13 of his 17 seasons with the Colts, and fans love him for his incredible numbers and ability to dominate in the regular season. Manning won 4 MVP awards with Indy before being out the entire 2011 season due to a neck surgery and ultimately leaving. But fans are still clamoring for Manning. Jacksonville Jaguars, Maurice Jones-Drew. MJD was a fan favorite for his dominance running the football. To be fair, Jacksonville does not exactly have a great list of contenders for here. But Maurice Jones-Drew is beloved in Jacksonville. He spent 8 of his 9 professional seasons with the team and was incredible with 3 Pro Bowls and an All-Pro selection. Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce. Look, it's between him and Patrick Mahomes, but I think Kelce has the slight edge. Kelce still has time at 33 years old, but he's definitely proven to be one of the most dominant tight ends in NFL history. 8 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros, 2 Super Bowls, and a chance to continue dominating as he currently is 182 catches away from 4 digits. He's extremely personable, and the fans just love Travis Kelce. He is a great representation for this Chiefs team. Las Vegas Raiders, Ken Stabler. The Raiders had an incredible quarterback in the 1970s with Ken Stabler and spent the first decade of his career with the franchise. He had an amazing 69-26-1 record as a starter and won the 1974 NFL MVP. As well, he helped lead the team to the 1977 Super Bowl. Truly, this man was a legend for the Raiders. Los Angeles Chargers, Antonio Gates. It's tough to argue against one of the greatest tight ends. He was a 3-time All-Pro and 8-time Pro Bowler. He spent his entire career with the Chargers and dominated as he had 116 touchdown receptions and was 45 catches short of 1,000 receptions for his career. Legitimately, there were no better at the position in the early to mid-2000s. Los Angeles Rams, Eric Dickerson. The Hall of Fame running back is not dubbed the Rambassador for nothing. Despite only spending his first 4.5 seasons with the team, it's who he's most recognized with. His dominance on the field by winning Offensive Player of the Year and Offensive Rookie of the Year showcased his abilities. He was a force with the ball in his hands and is beloved by the Rams fans. Miami Dolphins, Dan Marino. Dan Marino was one of the best quarterbacks, and going undefeated definitely helped him being on this list. He spent his entire career with the Dolphins and was doing things that most people could only imagine to do with his incredible passing. If Marino is walking in Miami, it's not going to be too long before he gets noticed, all because of his incredible dominance during the 80s and 90s. Minnesota Vikings, Adrian Peterson. There is no massive love more than the Vikings had for running back Adrian Peterson. He was a force for 10 seasons with the Vikings to begin his career and actually won the NFL MVP award in 2012. 8 yards shy of breaking the single-season rushing record, he was absolutely a monster on the field. Peterson became a bit of a vagabond later in his career, but all day will be remembered as a Minnesota Viking. New England Patriots, Tom Brady. This one is a no-brainer, as Tom Brady is widely considered to be the greatest of all time. I mean, he won 6 Super Bowl rings with the Patriots and spent 20 seasons with the dang team. Brady is known to be the best Patriot player. Heck, he might be one of the best NFL players to ever do it. And his legacy spans a generation of fans that never said a single bad thing about the organization. New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees. Another franchise quarterback, the story of Drew Brees is something to make him the franchise player. From having a shoulder injury and being casted off by the Chargers to becoming one of the best quarterbacks of his generation and winning a Super Bowl for a Hurricane Katrina-stricken New Orleans, this year was a no-brainer selection. New York Giants, Eli Manning. Everybody loves a winner, and that's exactly what Eli Manning provided for the New York Giants. He made 4 Pro Bowls and was not exactly the best player, but hey, 2 Super Bowls have him as the quarterback. That is huge. The only question that now remains is, will he actually make it into the Hall of Fame? New York Jets, Joe Namath. Broadway Joe might have played 50 years ago for the New York Jets, but it's the only Super Bowl for the franchise. They've not experienced anything close to the dominance that Namath provided, and he continues to be the truest hero of the Jets franchise. Philadelphia Eagles, Mick Foles. It's crazy that it only takes one playoff run to get to this status, but hey, Nick Foles deserves to be here. He came into the starting lineup after Carson Wentz tore his ACL and held his own throughout the postseason and even led the team to a Super Bowl victory. Heck, they even immortalized him for the Philly special. Pittsburgh Steelers, Troy Polamalu. A star on and off the field, safety Troy Polamalu is the most beloved franchise player for the Steelers. Some of these are difficult to place with historically dominant teams, but Polamalu had a national exposure with his commercials and flowing hair that made him a bit more larger than the black and yellow jersey typically allows. San Francisco 49ers, Jerry Rice. The greatest wide receiver ever is the beloved star for the 49ers. He spent 16 seasons with San Fran after being drafted and surprisingly never won an NFL MVP award. But still, 197 receiving touchdowns in that red jersey make him the most dominant and loved player by the fan base, especially having earned 10 All-Pros and 12 Pro Bowls in San Fran. Seattle Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch. There's a special connection between running back Marshawn Lynch and the Seattle Seahawks fan base. Lynch spent 7 seasons with the Seahawks, and of course, that memory is always going to be the ending of the Super Bowl against the Patriots and his love for Skittles. Lynch was a force on the field and dominated opposing defenses. The 12th man definitely showed their appreciation for Lynch. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans. The best wide receiver in Tampa Bay history is Mike Evans. I mean, 9 seasons with at least 1,000 yards receiving. Despite being in a contract battle right now with the team, he has been the face of the franchise for the last decade. Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry. King Henry is Tennessee Titans football, plain and simple. He's a monster in the running game and only 29 years old. Yet, he has 79 rushing touchdowns. Despite reportedly being shopped during the offseason, this team revolves around their star running back. Washington Commanders, Sean Taylor. This one is pretty tough, but the promise that Sean Taylor showed absolutely makes him deserving to be on this list. Taylor only played 4 seasons before his untimely death, but was a 2-time Pro Bowler and an All-Pro free safety. He finished with 12 interceptions and was a cherished icon for the Washington franchise as a whole. But who do you think your favorite franchise's favorite player is? Do you think we got it right? Or do you think that there's a player that's a little more liked? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.